Welcome back, fellow low-end PC warriors. Today, we're diving into a game that some of you brave souls requested, AI Limit. It's the new kid on the block in the Souls-like genre, and of course, I had to test it on my trusty low-end setup, an i3 processor with integrated graphics. Yes, no graphics card, because we like to live dangerously. Will it survive the grueling test, or will my PC beg for mercy? Alright, so here's the deal. I downloaded the demo from Steam, all pumped up to see how AI Limit would perform. As always, I set everything to low, graphics, shadows, textures, my expectations, you name it. Sadly, this game doesn't support upscaling, which feels like showing up to a marathon with no running shoes. Upscaling would have been a lifesaver, but hey, it is what it is. Surprisingly, I managed to squeeze out around 15 FPS. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a slideshow, not a game. But here's the twist. Despite the low frame rate, the game didn't lag or stutter. It felt oddly smooth. It's like your car is crawling at 10 kilometers per hour, but the suspension is so good, you're enjoying the ride. Still, 30 FPS would have been a dream come true. Developers, if you're listening, give us some FSR love. Let's dive into the real meat of AI Limit. The gameplay. This is where the game truly flexes its muscles, even if my low-end PC can barely keep up. I spent the first hour exploring its haunting, post-apocalyptic world, and let me tell you, the vibes are immaculate. Picture near. Automata meets Elden Ring, with a dash of indie grit. The environments are moody and atmospheric, with crumbling structures and overgrown machinery painting a story of a world long abandoned. Sure, the textures look like someone turned down the resolution on purpose, which, to be fair, I did. But the artistic vision shines through. Now let's talk about combat, which is the heart and soul of any Souls-like. If you've dodged and rolled your way through games like Dark Souls, you'll feel right at home here. But AI Limit doesn't just copy-paste. It brings its own flair with the sync rate system. Here's how it works. Every hit you land on an enemy builds up your sync rate, unlocking flashy special moves like an energy blast. And trust me, when you pull off one of those attacks, it feels like you're in an anime battle, complete with glowing effects and dramatic impact. But here's the catch. These moves drain your energy bar, leaving you temporarily weaker. It's like spending all your savings on a fancy dinner. You look cool for a moment, but then you're broke. On top of that, taking damage also drains your sync rate, forcing you to balance aggression with defense. The enemies are a solid mix of creepy and challenging. You've got your standard grunt robots, mid-tier mechanical monstrosities, and a few enemies that feel like mini-bosses. They're tough, but not unfairly so. If you die, it's usually your fault for not dodging properly or getting too greedy with your attacks. I haven't encountered any major bosses yet, but the smaller enemies are already giving me a run for my money. And let's not forget the attack animations, which are impressively smooth even at 15 FPS. It's like watching an action movie in slow motion. Not ideal, but still oddly satisfying. The exploration is another highlight. Every area feels interconnected, with hidden paths and shortcuts that give you a sense of discovery. I even found a few treasure chests with loot that made me feel like I just won the lottery, until I realized it was just a basic healing item. But hey, when you're struggling to survive on a low-end PC, even the smallest victories feel monumental. What really stands out, though, is the potential for strategic gameplay. The sync rate system adds a layer of depth that keeps combat fresh, forcing you to think ahead. Do you go all in and risk being left vulnerable, or play it safe and slowly chip away at your enemies? It's a balancing act that makes every encounter feel rewarding. However, I did notice a few quirks. The camera occasionally struggles in tight spaces, and the targeting system can be a bit finicky, especially when fighting multiple enemies. Also, the main character hasn't made a strong impression yet. There's potential, but so far, they're more of a blank slate than a compelling protagonist. Still, for a demo, there's enough here to keep me intrigued. So, is AI Limit worth your time on a low-end PC? Well, it's a mixed bag. The game shows promise with its intriguing combat mechanics and post-apocalyptic anime style. However, the lack of upscaling and the low FPS might turn off some players. If you're patient and don't mind a few frame drops, it's playable, but just barely. For a demo, it's clear the developers are onto something interesting, but they need to optimize the game for budget gamers like us. After all, not everyone has a PC that can handle ray tracing or a wallet that can survive the GPU prices these days. And that's a wrap, folks. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and smash subscribe for more low-end PC adventures. Let me know in the comments if there's another game you want me to test, or if you just want to share your own low-end gaming struggles. Until next time, keep gaming, stay frugal, and may your FPS always be above single digits. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay.